Hello, my name is Morgan Strus-Allen, and today we're going to be talking about Margaret Sanger. So who was Margaret Sanger exactly? Sanger was a pioneer for women's liberation and the legalization of birth control. She's responsible for opening up the very first birth control clinic and for fighting against anti-obscenity laws that restricted people's ability to discuss sexual health and reproduction. Sounds like a cool and unproblematic historical figure, right? Wrong. She also unfortunately had ties to the eugenics movement, which sought to purify society of social ills like birth defects, poverty, and race through genetics. Through her career as a nurse, her publications on reproductive health, and her various radical life achievements, Sanger paved the way for people to be able to openly discuss sexual health and have legal access to birth control. Her work was, and still is, imperative to reproductive health, but must be viewed in conjunction with her involvement in the eugenics movement. This is the thesis of my paper. Both Sanger's upbringing and work as a nurse in low-income areas of New York City inspired her life's mission of making birth control legal and accessible. As one of 11 children, she saw how having a large number of children caused her mother's premature death and led to financial hardship for the family. When Sanger worked as a nurse, she saw firsthand the devastation and death that lack of sexual education and access to contraceptives had on poor women. It was these experiences that would inspire her to create a magic pill that could prevent pregnancy. One of the great challenges of Sanger's life was the Comstock Act, which was a set of laws that made it illegal to distribute information on sexual health and to distribute any contraceptive devices or medications. Sanger was arrested multiple times throughout her life for violating this act due to the publications she put out and due to her radical actions. One of these actions was opening up the first birth control clinic in Brooklyn in 1916. The clinic was open for about a week before it was raided by police and Sanger was arrested. In Sanger's book, My Fight for Birth Control, she details how women chased after the police car she was put in, begging for help even after her arrest. This shows just how desperate women were for accessible birth control and sexual education. Sanger eventually went on to create the American Birth Control League, which existed to educate women on reproduction, provide safe and legal birth control, and work to support legislation that supported these goals. It later became what we now know as Planned Parenthood. Despite her positive influence on women's liberation and the birth control movement, Sanger was involved in the eugenics movement. While there is mixed information on whether Sanger believed in the racial aspects of eugenics, she did support eugenics in her efforts to prevent birth defects, along with physical and mental disabilities among the population. There's also evidence that Sanger gave a speech about birth control to a group affiliated with the KKK. Some researchers say that Sanger was so determined to fulfill her cause that she got involved with these hateful white supremacist groups. Regardless of what Sanger's personal beliefs were, her involvement in these groups has tarnished her legacy. This is why it's important to study her positive influence while also taking her involvement in these harmful and dangerous groups into account. I hope you learned something new about Margaret Sanger and women's liberation. Thanks for watching.